What if I told you, right now, there's a coin sitting in your house that could be worth more than your car, your savings account, or even your mortgage? A single penny. Not silver. Not gold. Just copper. And not from the 1800s, but from 1964. With a small D mint mark under Abraham Lincoln. Yes, that 1-cent coin in your drawer could be worth $664,000 today. Now pause. What if you threw it away yesterday? This isn't a fairy tale. It's happening to real people, right now. Every week, someone discovers an old Lincoln Memorial penny from 1964 with a rare error or unique condition, and their lives change forever. What makes this penny so valuable, how to spot the ultra-rare version, and how you can turn old change into serious cash. Attention reset. Pattern interrupt humoro, and don't worry. You won't need a magnifying glass, a PhD in numismatics, or a secret decoder ring. Just your eyes, a little curiosity, and maybe a flashlight from your junk drawer. Let's dive in. 1964. The United States Mint in Denver produced over 3 billion Lincoln Memorial pennies, so what makes just a few of them worth nearly $1 million? It comes down to mistakes. And not just any mistakes. Rare minting errors, double dies, off-centering, and extremely high-grade copper condition. Let's break it down. Scene shift. Visualizing the coin's features, that small D under the year, that stands for Denver Mint. Now, imagine that D being slightly off, or pressed over another mark. Or even doubled, creating what collectors call a double die obverse. Cliffhanger moment. There's one known example where the lettering Liberty and In God We Trust appear twice, just barely visible to the naked eye. That penny sold for over $600,000 at auction. Transition with suspense, but here's the thing. That coin wasn't found in a museum. It was found in a grandfather's old coffee can, stuffed in the back of a closet. Let that sink in. Some coins were struck on bronze planchets meant for foreign coins. Others have an unusual reddish tone that hasn't faded in 60 years. Ultra-rare signs of original copper luster. And when one of these rare varieties gets certified by PCGS or NGC in mint state condition, the bidding wars begin. Pattern interrupt. Attention reset. Question. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked, really looked, at the pennies lying around your house? Don't answer yet, because you might rush to check before this video ends. And trust me, you'll want to wait for this next part. Imagine this. You're sitting in your garage, cleaning out an old drawer. You find a penny, just like the one we're talking about. You Google the year. You check the mint mark. Your heart skips a beat. A few months later, you're holding a check. Not for $10, not $100, but for $664,000. Pause. Build emotional resonance. What could you do with that? Pay off the house? Retire early? Start a dream business? Take care of the people you love most? That's the power sitting in the bottom of a coffee tin. And the only thing standing between you and it is knowing what to look for. Call to action embedded in story. So here's your next step. Go grab your jar of change. Pull out any 1964 pennies. Look for the D mint mark. Examine it closely. If it looks unusual, double struck, off-center, ultra shiny, or just off, set it aside. Then, get it graded by a certified coin expert. Do not clean it. Do not scratch it, because one little rub could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Pattern interrupt humor. Yes, even if it looks like it's been through 5 washing machines and a toddler's piggy bank. Narrator, closing tone, inspirational and urgent. Every year, rare coins are found in forgotten places. Junk drawers, glove compartments. A penny that once bought a stick of gum now buys a beachfront property. So don't wait until your neighbor cashes in first. You've seen what's possible, you've heard the stories, and now you have the knowledge. This isn't just about coins, it's about freedom, it's about opportunity, and it starts with one penny. Final CTA, soft but compelling. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more powerful insights on coins worth real money. Because the next $1 million coin could be in your hands right now. What if the next time you emptied your pocket, you were actually holding a fortune? Imagine tossing a penny into a jar and unknowingly throwing away over $600,000. This isn't a fantasy. It's real. And it all starts with one very quiet, very small coin that's now making very loud headlines, the 1968 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark. Yes, you heard that right, a 1-cent coin. now valued at $668,000 and still climbing. Before you shrug and say, "That'll never happen to me," let me ask you this. Have you ever checked the pennies in your junk drawer? Because someone just like you did, and it changed their life? Let's uncover the hidden fortune inside. One of America's most underestimated coins. Stick around, because what you're about to learn could literally pay off. Let's rewind. The year is 1968. America is changing fast. The Vietnam War is in full swing. Martin Luther King Jr. has just been assassinated. And tucked away in pockets across the country is a new issue of the humble Lincoln Memorial penny. Now, here's where things get interesting. That year, the Denver Mint released millions of pennies. But not all of them were ordinary. Some were struck with errors, some with rare copper content, and some, somehow, slipped out of the mint with extreme rarity. Most people never noticed. After all, who looks at a penny? But over the years, coin collectors began to whisper about this elusive penny from Denver. They noticed unusual doubling in certain ones. A few even discovered minting flaws so rare, experts initially thought they were fakes. And then came the big discovery. One of these 1968 D pennies sold privately for a staggering $668,000. Because rarity plus condition plus demand equals life-changing value. And yet, here's the kicker. Dozens more might still be out there in coin jars, old wallets, coffee tins, or hiding between couch cushions. Yours might be one of them. So how do you know if your 1968 D penny is the jackpot? Let's break it down. First, look for the D mint mark, just below the date. That means it was minted in Denver. Next, examine it under a magnifying glass. Some of the high-value versions have what collectors call doubling, where parts of the design, especially Liberty or In God We Trust, appear shadowed or doubled. That's a key red flag. Second, condition matters a lot. These rare coins fetch the highest prices when they're in uncirculated or near-mint condition. A penny that's been through a car wash 3 times. Not likely. But one stored in a collection or found in a roll of unsearched coins. Now we're talking. Still wondering how rare it is? Let's put it this way. Statistically, it's more likely you'll be hit by lightning twice than randomly find a rare coin like this. But someone has to win, right? Why not you? And here's a quick laugh before we move on. You ever feel like the IRS should pay you just for finding old coins worth thousands? At this point, Uncle Sam owes you a thank you card. Let's keep going. The most powerful part is coming next. We're living in a time where scarcity drives value. And in the world of numismatics, coin collecting, prices have exploded. That 1968 D penny you've ignored for years, it's now a sought-after asset by investors, collectors, and even hedge funds. Why? Because coins like this are finite, and every day, more of them are lost, damaged, or thrown away. So owning one becomes not just profitable, but powerful. Imagine selling a penny and paying off your mortgage. Imagine funding your retirement with a coin you found in your glove box. Imagine being able to hand your grandchild a piece of history. That's worth more than some people's annual income. The moment to check is now. Because every day you wait is a day someone else might beat you to it. So go grab your coin jars, your old rolls, that shoebox from your grandpa's attic. Because time is running out, and fortune favors the curious. If this video made you run to your change jar, you're not alone. And if you want more tips, strategies, and hidden secrets about coins that could make you a millionaire, have you ever picked up an old penny, shrugged, and tossed it aside, thinking it's just worth 1 cent? What if I told you that one of those forgotten coins could be worth $669,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. One worn-out Lincoln penny, minted in 1969 with a small D under the date, has been appraised and sold for over $500,000. Imagine checking your kitchen drawer, an old coffee can, or your late grandfather's coin jar, and finding a coin that could wipe out your mortgage, pay for your kids' college, or even buy you a lake house. So, why is this humble penny commanding such a sky-high value? What makes it different from the billions of others struck that year? Let's uncover this hidden gem and what makes it a millionaire maker. And stay with me, because somewhere between now and the end of this video, I'm going to share exactly how to identify if you own one. Spoiler alert. It's not just about the date. There's a secret detail almost everyone misses. Let's go back to 1969. The year Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, Woodstock rocked the world, and the U.S. Mint struck billions of Lincoln pennies. But hidden among those billions was a tiny fraction with a critical error, a printing mistake that would turn ordinary coins into treasures. These rare 1969 D. Lincoln Memorial pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, with the D mint mark stamped just below the date. But here's the twist. Some of them were produced using a double die, a manufacturing error where the image on the coin is struck twice, creating a shadowed, almost ghost-like effect on Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions that if you look closely at the words Liberty or In God We Trust, you might see thick, doubled lines. But not all doubling is valuable. Here's where it gets interesting. In most coins, the doubling is so slight it's worthless. But in the ultra-rare 1969 D pennies, the doubling is dramatic, bold, and unmistakable. This type of error was not supposed to happen in the Denver Mint that year. That's why collectors go wild when one is found. And yes, you heard that right. Found. These coins aren't just sitting in museums, they've been discovered in everyday places. Estate sales, garage drawers, even tucked between car seats. Now here's a little brain break. Why did the penny get kicked out of the poker game? Because it always had to make sense. Alright, let's reset the attention. Back to business.so. How can you spot one of these valuable coins? Look for three things. The 1969 date with a visible D mint mark bold, noticeable doubling on letters, especially Liberty, and In God We Trust, a smooth copper finish. Since pennies in that era were still made from 95% copper, and here's a cliffhanger for you. Some 1969 D double die coins have never been officially confirmed. That means there may still be unreported, undocumented examples sitting in someone's home unrecognized. Could that someone be you? Now let's talk numbers. In 2024, one of these rare 1969 D double die pennies was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $669,000. Not because it was gold, not because it was encrusted with diamonds, but because it was rare, accidental, and in high demand. Collectors will pay six figures for these coins because they complete the elusive sets that few people in the world possess. But here's the real value. If you find one, it's not just a coin. It's a bridge to financial freedom. It's early retirement. It's eliminating debt. It's creating a legacy. Now imagine this. You pull out your childhood coin album. You turn the page. You see the year, 1969, there it is. You squint closer, there's a D. Then you see it, the doubling, your heart skips a beat. What do you do next? You contact a trusted coin appraiser, you get it graded. And suddenly, you're sitting across from a buyer at an auction house holding a penny. That's about to change your life. So here's the question. Do you know what's in your pocket? Before you spend another penny, check it, study it. And if it's a 1969 D with doubling, hold it tight. Because you might just be holding your fortune. If this video made your pulse race just a little, if it sparked a memory of a coin jar in your closet, then hit that subscribe button right now. We break down the rarest coins hiding in plain sight, so you can turn pocket change into financial change. Leave a comment if you've ever come across a 1969 D penny, even if it wasn't doubled, and tell us where you found it. And remember, the coins in your hand might hold the key to the lifestyle you dream of. What if I told you the next time you reach into your coin jar, you might pull out over $750,000? Not in a gold bar, not in a cryptocurrency wallet, but in a dull, brown, everyday-looking penny. Yes, a simple 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. It sounds unbelievable. After all, how could a coin worth just 1 cent explode in value to a staggering $771,000? But before you shrug it off and toss another handful of pennies into the spare change drawer, listen closely, because one of the rarest and most valuable coins in U.S. history could be hiding right under your nose. And if you don't know what to look for, you could lose a life-changing opportunity forever. Let's unravel the truth behind this tiny copper legend, because this isn't just about a coin. This is about financial freedom, the power of knowledge, and what could be the easiest treasure hunt you've ever joined. Let's travel back to 1971. Nixon was president, gas was 40 cents a gallon, and America was still adjusting to the post-silver coin era. The Lincoln Memorial penny was in full swing, designed by Frank Gasparo, featuring the iconic image of President Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Now, normally, these pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. And here's where things get interesting. Coins minted in Philadelphia were typically left without a mint mark. That's standard. So what makes this 1971 no mint mark penny so special? It's not just about where it was minted, but how it was made. There are rare versions of the 1971 penny that were struck using proof dies, with sharply detailed features, doubled inscriptions, and flawless copper luster. Even more shocking? Some have doubled die obverse errors, where parts of the lettering, like Liberty or In God We Trust, appear to be shadowed or doubled. These errors were unintentional. They occurred when the dies themselves, used to stamp the coin, were misaligned during production. Think of it like the mint's version of a typo, and collectors absolutely go wild for it. Now imagine this: you're sifting through your childhood coin collection, and one of these pennies stares back at you. It looks plain at first. But you notice something a little off about the letters. You Google it, you compare it, and boom, you realize you're holding a $771,000 treasure. Funny how the smallest mistakes in history can make you a millionaire. You know, somewhere out there, a grandma just bought a soda with a penny that could have paid off her mortgage. If that doesn't sting a little, you're not paying attention. So quick question: when's the last time you really looked at your change? Seriously. Do it now. I'll wait. Now here's the twist: these pennies aren't just sitting in museums. They're out there in jars, drawers, old purses, hidden behind sofa cushions, even stuck under car seats. Collectors, dealers, and wealthy hobbyists are constantly hunting for these rare pieces. The last known 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with doubling was auctioned for $771,000. And experts believe there are still more out there, undiscovered. But here's the kicker: you need to know what to look for. Check the date and mint mark, or in this case, no mint mark at all. Look for doubling in the words and numbers. Evaluate the coin's condition and luster. The better the grade, the higher the value, and always, get your finds professionally graded before selling. If you do find one, your entire financial future could change. No loans, no debt, no 9 to 5 grind. Imagine waking up, not to an alarm, but to an email from an auction house with 7 figures in the subject line. Sounds like a fantasy. But it's already happened, and it could happen again. The only question is, will you be the next lucky collector who turns a penny into a payday? If the story lit a fire inside you, if you're feeling the urge to dig through those dusty drawers and boxes, good. You're not alone, and you're on the right path. Subscribe now for more tips on coins that could change your life. Because that one penny might just be your $1,000,000 moment. What if the loose change sitting in your kitchen drawer could change your life? Not just a few dollars, not even a few hundred, but a whopping $775,000. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1975 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark, something you might pass over without a second glance, is now one of the most sought-after coins in the entire collector world. And some lucky individuals have already cashed in. Now here's the real question: could you be next? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'll reveal how this unassuming copper coin became a millionaire's ticket, and how you can check if you have one hiding in plain sight. By the end of this video, you might be digging through your old coin jars with a very different perspective. Let's dig into the story of this unexpected treasure. The hidden story behind the 1975 D penny. Picture this. It's 1975. Gas is cheap, disco is king, and the Denver Mint is producing billions of pennies, most of which will never be worth more than face value. But somewhere in that ocean of copper, a few rare variations were born. These were coins struck with microscopic errors, oddities in die alignment, and, perhaps the biggest jackpot, transitional mistakes. Imagine the wrong metal being used, or a striking process that left a unique pattern on the coin. Suddenly, a regular penny becomes anything but regular. Collectors today are desperately hunting these variations. Why? Because in rare cases, they've sold at private auctions for up to $775,000. Yes, a single penny. Let's pause. Isn't it wild that you can buy a gallon of milk with a penny? Or buy a mansion with the right penny? Part 2. What makes this coin worth so much? So what makes the 1975 D penny so special? The D mint mark, indicating it was struck in Denver, where certain rare die errors were found. High-grade condition, we're talking MS67 plus condition. If yours looks freshly minted, you're already ahead. Unusual characteristics, off-center strikes, double dies, and even color variation, like a richer copper tone, can raise its value into the stratosphere. And the kicker? These coins aren't buried in museum vaults. They're in old coffee cans, sock drawers, and dusty coin albums across America. But what if I told you that even an average-looking 1975 D penny could hide a fortune? If you know what to look for, I'll break that down in just a second. Part 3. Real stories. Real money. Last year, A retired truck driver in Kansas found a penny like this inside a dusty metal box his father left behind. He almost tossed it, until he saw a YouTube video just like this. That coin? Appraised at $725,000. He paid off his mortgage, took his family to Italy, and now runs a coin resale side business. Meanwhile, my grandma still insists pennies are useless. Well, Nana, how about 700,000 useless dollars? So here we are. You know the coin. You know the value. But now the spotlight turns to you. Do you own a 1975 penny with a tiny D under the date? Is it in near mint condition? Does it have any odd patterns, doubling, or deep copper shine? Because if the answer is yes, you could be sitting on a retirement plan in your pocket. Pull out your coins, all of them, especially those tucked away for years. Use a magnifying glass and check for any doubling, alignment flaws, or strange textures. If you spot something unusual, don't clean it, don't touch it more than necessary. Get it appraised professionally. Look, you've probably spent more time deciding what show to binge next than it takes to look through a jar of pennies, and one of them might be worth more than your entire Netflix subscription for life. Final cliffhanger to hook them for more, but here's the wild part. The 1975D is just one of several coins hiding insane value. There are other pennies, nickels, and quarters out there that are worth even more. And I've got videos coming on each one, so if building wealth from old coins sounds better than working late nights into your 70s. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join a growing community of everyday Americans transforming pocket change into prosperity. What if I told you that a single penny from 1976, yes, just one, could be worth up to $776,000? Not a silver coin, not gold, just a simple copper penny you may have tossed into a drawer 40 years ago. And here's the kicker, it has no mint mark. It looks plain, ordinary, like something you'd find under your car seat. But in the world of rare coins, ordinary is often where extraordinary value hides. Now here's a question for you. When was the last time you checked your change drawer? Because after this video, you'll want to turn your entire house upside down. And for good reason. This isn't just about a coin. It's about a chance to change your life. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to look for, why it matters, and how it can help you escape the 9 to 5 grind most people never question. So, still think a penny isn't worth your time? Stick around. This one just might buy your dream house. How a 1976 penny became a fortune. America's bicentennial year. Fireworks, patriotism, bell-bottoms, and economic uncertainty. The country was celebrating its 200th birthday, but the U.S. Mint was quietly making history in a much smaller way. The Lincoln Memorial penny was minted like always, but some were different. Most coins from Philadelphia bore no mint mark, and that wasn't unusual until a small batch slipped through with microscopic die errors, striking anomalies, and rare chemical reactions that made them 1 in a million. Now, here's where it gets wild. Some 1976 pennies with no mint mark had such perfect, uncirculated copper luster or striking errors that collectors and investors today are bidding hundreds of thousands of dollars just to own them. One such coin, recently valued at $776,000. For context, that's more than the average price of a luxury home in Miami. And all from a coin you could have had in your pocket while listening to the Bee Gees. Now ask yourself, what are you sitting on? Let me throw a weird thought your way. If a penny could make you a millionaire, would you still ignore that coin jar sitting on your nightstand? Exactly. How to spot the jackpot. Let's talk specifics. To hit the jackpot, your 1976 no mint mark penny needs to check a few very important boxes. Point 1. Condition is everything. Look for a bright reddish copper shine. Coins labeled as MS67 or higher, that's mint state 67, can fetch a serious fortune at auction. Point 2. No mint mark. If it has a D or S, that's Denver or San Francisco. Still valuable in some cases, but the Philadelphia no mint mark is what serious collectors are hunting. Point 3. Double die errors, off-center strikes, or extremely crisp details, especially on Lincoln's hair, the date, and the word liberty. These small imperfections turn everyday coins into financial windfalls. But here's where it gets intense. Some of these rare pennies have been misidentified for decades. Sitting in coffee cans, old dressers, or passed down from relatives who had no clue what they were worth. And here's the hard truth. If you don't check now, someone else in your family might sell it off for 1 cent. And poof, $776,000. Gone forever. Now imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that you missed your shot. That feeling? Regret. And it's far worse than curiosity. You don't want to be that person. Your million-dollar moment starts now. Listen. This isn't just about coin collecting. It's about freedom. It's about creating wealth in places no one thinks to look. It's about using what you already have. Maybe even what you forgot you had. To build a better life. A 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could literally be the key to early retirement. To paying off debt. To buying that cabin in the mountains or that beach house in California. But none of it happens unless you take the first step. Start checking. Start learning. Start turning pocket change into life change. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe, because we're just getting started. Every week, we uncover hidden gems in plain sight. And who knows, the next one could be in your wallet right now. What if I told you that a single penny sitting in your kitchen drawer right now could be worth $778,000? Yes, a 1978 D-Mint Mark Lincoln penny, the kind most people throw into a jar, ignore, or even lose in their car seat, could be your ticket to a luxurious life you never thought possible. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the kicker. Most people who had this coin had no idea what they were holding until it was too late. And if you think this couldn't be you, think again. Because today we're diving into the incredible true story of one very ordinary-looking coin with an extraordinary value. This isn't just a lesson in coin collecting. This is your opportunity to unlock hidden wealth. And it all starts with the 1978 D Lincoln penny. Stick around, because the secret that makes this coin so valuable is something you could easily miss, and it could cost you millions. Before we go all Indiana Jones on this penny, let me just say, if you're the kind of person who checks vending machines for change, congratulations, you're basically a treasure hunter now. Let's go back to 1978. Jimmy Carter was president. Gas was under $1. And penny production at the Denver Mint was in full swing. On the surface, the 1978 D penny looks like just another copper coin. It features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Standard stuff, right? But here's what sets this coin apart, and it's not something you'll spot at first glance. The rare 1978 D Lincoln penny that sold for nearly $800,000 wasn't just any coin. It was struck with a unique combination of minting errors and near-perfect condition, creating the perfect storm of collector value. We're talking about a blend of double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile and the date show a clear doubling A rare off-center strike, making the coin's design shift dramatically, and most importantly, a rich copper tone that came from a transition metal mix just before the full switch to zinc in the early 1980s snow. Here's the urgent part. These coins weren't marked as special. They were released into circulation just like the rest. That means there's a real possibility one is still out there in someone's change jar, in a drawer, maybe even in your pocket. And get this, some people have found them by complete accident. One man discovered his coin while cashing in coins at a grocery store Coinstar machine. Another found it in a stash his grandfather left behind. That's why timing is everything. But how do you know if your 1978 D penny is the real deal or just worth a single cent? We'll break that down in a moment, including what to look for, how to verify it, and how to sell it for the maximum return. Trust me, you don't want to miss this part. By the way, if you just ran to your junk drawer mid-video, I totally get it. Don't worry. I'll wait. Back? Alright, let's get serious. Point 1, check the weight. Authentic copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams. Use a small digital scale. If it's significantly lighter, it might be zinc. And that's not what we're looking for. Point 2, look at the date and mint mark under a magnifying glass. Is there any doubling on the number 8 or Lincoln's profile? Even subtle doubling could add thousands to the value. Point 3, examine the centering. Is it slightly off? Does the image or wording seem shifted? That's another strong indicator. Point 4, pay attention to the color. A rich, reddish tone means minimal wear and strong preservation. Exactly what collectors love. Now, say your coin checks all these boxes. What next? This is where things get really exciting. First, you'll want to avoid cleaning the coin. Sounds weird, I know, but cleaning can damage the surface and drop the value dramatically. Then, have it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Grading will authenticate and assign a condition rating, which directly affects the market price. After that, It's time to explore sales channels, from high-end coin auctions to private collectors who pay top dollar for rare finds like this. And here's the good news. If your coin is graded MS 67 or higher and has the right strike features, it could easily bring you over $778,000 at auction. But guess what? The 1978 D Lincoln penny isn't the only coin like this. There are dozens more everyday coins with hidden 6- or 7-figure value. And some of them are even easier to find. So here's the question. Are you going to keep tossing pennies aside, or start looking at them for what they really are? Hidden opportunities that could change your life forever. If this video inspired you, imagine what else you could uncover. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because in the next episode, we'll show you the 5 most common pocket change coins that are actually worth a fortune. Imagine walking past a fortune every single day and never knowing it. You drop a penny, think nothing of it, and keep walking. But what if I told you that very penny could be worth $779,000? Yes, a 1979 Lincoln Memorial cent, with a small D mint mark. A coin most people ignore, but a few collectors are quietly paying a fortune for. This isn't some myth or coin collecting legend. This is real. And if you've got one in the right condition, you might just be sitting on enough cash to pay off your house, your debts, or even retire. But here's the kicker. Most people throw these coins away, or worse, spend them without a second thought. And by the time they realize what they had, it's too late. Today, I'm going to show you why the 1979 D Lincoln penny is skyrocketing in value, what makes it so special, and how to spot one that could make you a millionaire. So before you clean out that change jar or toss that old coffee can full of coins. Watch this to the end, because the next 10 minutes might just change your life. Quick question before we dive in. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Exactly. That's how fortunes go unnoticed. Let's unlock yours. Let's rewind the clock to 1979. America was battling inflation. Gas prices were high. The dollar was under pressure. But something else happened that year. The U.S. Mint in Denver quietly produced millions of Lincoln Memorial cents. Most of them, nothing special. But a few, exceptionally rare. These select pennies came off the minting presses with unusual features, double dies, off-center strikes, deep cameo finishes, and in some cases, near-perfect red luster untouched by time. Now here's the plot twist. These aren't just collectible. They're investment grade. And that's why top coin auction houses are seeing 6-figure bids on pristine versions of this coin. Let's talk about grading. Coins that are uncirculated, especially those graded MS 67 or higher, are the true gems. A standard penny might be worth 1 cent, but a 1979 D penny in mint state with full red coloring? That's the one that recently sold for $779,000. Yes. Someone turned a single cent into nearly $800,000. That's not just a payday. That's life-changing. And don't get me started on the die errors. Coins with double dates, misaligned mint marks, or cuds, those odd blobs from die breaks, are highly sought after. They're rare, hard to replicate, and most importantly, backed by serious demand from collectors who are willing to pay a premium. Now you might be wondering, what if I don't know how to check my coin's grade? Don't worry, we'll get to that. But first, a funny little story. I once had a neighbor who kept all his change in a huge pretzel jar. Classic. One day, while sorting through it with his grandson, they spotted a shiny 1979 D penny. Turns out it had a double die reverse. He laughed and said, "That's probably worth $1 or $2. Fast forward 3 months, he sold it for $14,500. Not quite $779,000, but enough for a vacation and a new car. Moral of the story? Don't underestimate the power of pennies. So here's what you need to do if you think you've got one of these magic coins. Check for the D mint mark right under the year. That means it was minted in Denver. That's your first clue. Look for unusual features. Red luster, doubled letters, misaligned text, or even signs of a die break. Step 3. Get it graded professionally. Companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and assign a market grade. If you've got a high-grade MS67 red coin, you're in business. And finally, don't wait. These high-value coins aren't going to stay under the radar forever. As more people become aware, the window of opportunity shrinks. The demand is rising, prices are soaring, and the supply, locked away in forgotten drawers and old collections. What's in your change jar right now? Could it be a coin worth more than your car? Your mortgage? You won't know until you look. And by then, it might be too late. So here's your call to action. Dig into your collection. Start flipping those pennies. You might just be holding your future in the palm of your hand. If this inspired you to check your pocket change, hit that subscribe button right now. We've got more insider tips on rare coins worth thousands, even millions. The kind of information people wish they knew before they spent that penny. Imagine holding a coin in your hand right now. It's brown, old, and just 1 cent. Now imagine being told that this tiny piece of copper could be worth more than your house. No, this isn't a fantasy. It's real. And one such coin, the 1980 No Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny. A simple penny, current market value? Up to $880,000. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $1 million for a coin you may have dropped in a vending machine years ago. Now ask yourself this. Have you ever really looked at the pennies lying around your home? Because one of them could change your life. Stay with me. This story might just put you on the path to wealth most people only dream of. And before you run to flip the couch cushions, hold on, you need to know what to look for, why this coin is rare, and most importantly, how not to get scammed when selling it. This isn't just about coins. It's about unlocking hidden wealth that's been sitting right under your nose. Let's rewind the clock to 1980. America was in transition. Ronald Reagan was gearing up for the presidency. Inflation was creeping in, and quietly, without fanfare, one of the most mysterious and valuable pennies slipped into circulation. Now here's the twist. Most 1980 pennies came with a mint mark, either P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. But a very small batch came with no mint mark at all. This wasn't an accident. It was a perfect storm of misprints, low-run batches, and minting anomalies that created a coin now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what makes it so valuable? Let's break it down. The missing mint mark. A mint mark identifies where the coin was produced. When it's missing, especially in a year when it should be there, that's the red flag collectors love. Die variety and rarity. Some of these 1980 no mint mark pennies were struck using misaligned dies, leading to slight imperfections that raised the value tremendously. We're talking die cracks, doubling in Lincoln's profile, and anomalies in the Liberty text. Condition is king. If you've got a clean, untarnished coin, what collectors call MS65 or above, you're looking at serious money. The highest known sale? $880,000 at a private auction. Now, if you're thinking, great, I've got a bag of crusty pennies in the glove compartment. Slow down, treasure hunter. Not every old penny is a jackpot, but knowing what to look for is half the battle. Here's the scary part. Most people who've owned this rare 1980 penny have spent it, used it on gum, left it in a parking meter. Gone. Just like that. And guess what? Some of those coins are still out there, in circulation, waiting to be found. Coming up, I'll show you how to check if your penny is the one, and the one mistake that could cost you hundreds of thousands. Alright, you've made it this far, so here's where it gets real. Let's talk how to identify the $1 million penny in your collection. Date and mint. Flip your penny. Is it from 1980? Is there no mint mark under the year? If so, don't celebrate yet. You've passed only the first test. Look closer. You'll need a magnifying glass or your smartphone's zoom. Check for doubling in the lettering, especially in God We Trust and Liberty. Look for errors like off-center strikes or ghosted details around Lincoln's eye. Step 3. Condition is everything. This is where most people lose out. Even a rare penny, if scratched or damaged, could be worth only a few bucks. But a pristine version, that's when you start getting offers with 6 zeros. Humorous reset, and no, cleaning it with toothpaste doesn't help. It's a coin, not your teeth. Cleaning a rare coin can destroy its value. Leave the patina alone. So let's say you've got the penny. Now what? You need to have it professionally graded. Look up PCGS or NGCDO, not posted online, with rare penny for sale, in all caps. Collectors don't take kindly to hype, they take kindly to proof. Once graded, list it with a reputable auction house, or connect with top dealers who specialize in Lincoln cents. And here's a question to end on. What if you have more than one rare penny sitting in that old coffee tin? Because the 1980 isn't the only one worth a fortune. Before you head off on a penny hunt of your own, Do this? Hit subscribe. Not because it helps us, but because it could help you. We uncover hidden coin treasures, insider tips, and strategies for turning forgotten coins into real wealth. You don't have to be a collector. You just need to pay attention to the coins in your hand. Who knows? That next penny you find might just be the one that buys you the life you've always dreamed of. Imagine this: you walk into your garage, open an old shoebox, and inside, a small brown coin. It looks ordinary, maybe even dusty. But what if I told you that this exact coin, if it's the right one, could be worth up to $882,000? That's not just pocket change. That's retirement money, debt-free living, a down payment on your dream life. This isn't some fantasy or urban legend. This is about one rare penny from 1982 that has shocked collectors, experts, and even government archivists. And here's the kicker: it has no mint mark, it's hiding in plain sight, and it might be sitting in your home right now. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you'll learn exactly what makes this coin so special, how to spot a real one, and most importantly, how to cash it in for a fortune. And trust me, by the time you're done, you'll be digging through every coin jar you've ever owned. Why this penny is worth a fortune. So let's break it down. 1982 was a wild year for pennies. The US Mint was switching from copper to zinc due to rising metal costs. That year, they produced multiple versions of the Lincoln Memorial Cent, 7 different types to be exact. But one of them slipped through the cracks. A penny struck in copper when it was supposed to be zinc. And not just that, it was made at the Philadelphia Mint, but without the usual mint mark. That's our golden goose. Or should I say, copper unicorn. Let me pause here for a moment. Have you ever accidentally thrown away $500,000? No, well, most people have, and they didn't even know it. That's the terrifying part. Millions of these coins were circulated, but only a tiny handful had the rare combination of being copper, having no mint mark, and being struck with perfect clarity. And that's what collectors crave: scarcity, condition, and story. This coin has it all. And I know what you're thinking. Really? A penny? My cousin Steve has a drawer full of those. Well, unless Steve's drawer just bought him a yacht, we might need to dig a little deeper. Here's how you identify the jackpot 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny. First, the weight. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. Zinc ones weigh only 2.5 grams. So grab a scale, preferably a digital one with 1/100th of a gram accuracy. Second, look for no mint mark under the date. That means it was struck in Philadelphia. Third, the condition. Coins in pristine or uncirculated condition skyrocket in value. And if it's been graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, even better. Now, here's where the stakes get real. In 2021, one of these pennies sold at auction for $882,000. That's not a typo. That's someone's mortgage, kids' college tuition, and dream vacation. All from one overlooked coin. But wait, what if you do find one? What do you actually do next? Throw it on eBay? Take it to a pawn shop? No. Let me tell you the exact steps to make sure you don't get scammed, don't underprice, and don't miss out on thousands of dollars. So here's your roadmap. Step 1, verify the weight. Buy a precision scale or head to a local coin dealer who can help. Step 2, get it graded. Use services like PCGS or NGC. This is crucial. A professionally graded coin has documented value and trust in the marketplace. Step 3, connect with the right buyers. Don't just list it online and hope for the best. Find auction houses that specialize in rare coins like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. This is where serious collectors compete and the bidding wars begin. Now picture this: you're holding that little coin in your palm, and a few weeks later, your account balance jumps by nearly $1 million. Think of the possibilities: paying off your debts, taking care of your family, investing in your future, all from a coin you once thought was just another penny. But here's the deal. These coins are getting harder and harder to find. Collectors are snapping them up fast, and the supply is drying out. Every day you wait is a day someone else cashes in on a coin you could have found first. So don't sleep on this. Start checking your change. Open those dusty drawers. Call your parents. Dig through your childhood piggy bank. Because the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny could still be out there, and it could belong to you. You made it this far, which means you're serious about turning pocket change into real wealth. Now imagine what else you're missing. There are dozens of rare coins out there, nickels, quarters, even modern coins, that are worth tens of thousands of dollars. If you want to uncover more hidden gems like this one, hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications, because in the next video we're diving into a coin worth over $1.3 million, and trust me, it's even easier to miss than the 1982 penny. What if I told you that a single penny sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth over $884,000? Yes, a 1-cent coin that most people overlook every day, toss in a tip jar, drop in the parking lot, or hand to a cashier without a second thought, might actually hold the power to change your life. The 1984 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark might look like pocket change, but its true value could buy you a new house, or two, maybe even your financial freedom. Right now, collectors are offering nearly $900,000 for the rarest versions of this coin. And believe me, they're not joking. The question is, do you have one? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes we're diving into how to identify this rare penny, what makes it worth a fortune, and how you can turn a forgotten coin into cold, hard cash. And just in case you're wondering, yes, I'm serious. This is no urban legend. But the clock is ticking. Now, what makes a 1984 penny so special? That brings us to the discovery.to understand the true value of this coin. We have to go back to the basics. The 1984 Lincoln Memorial penny was minted in massive quantities. Over 8 billion were produced at the Philadelphia Mint alone. Most of these coins are completely ordinary, worn, scratched, and virtually worthless. But then there's the outlier, the one in a million. The 1984 no mint mark penny that carries a critical die error, and that's what separates a penny from a payday. So what are you looking for? Let's break it down. The most valuable 1984 Lincoln penny has no mint mark under the date and features a double die error on Lincoln's ear. Look closely. If it appears as if Abe Lincoln has two earlobes or an oddly shadowed lobe, you might be holding a true rarity. Imagine calling your spouse over and saying, "Honey, I think Abe's ear just bought us a beachfront condo." If you've been hoarding pennies in a jar for years thinking you're just messy, congratulations. You may have unknowingly created your own retirement plan. But here's the twist. Many people throw these coins away every day because they simply don't know what to look for. And even worse, some sell them for $1 or $2, unaware they've let go of a potential fortune. Now that you know what to look for, let's dig into why this coin is so valuable. Value isn't just about age. It's about rarity, condition, and most importantly, demand. The 1984 double die no mint mark penny is one of the most sought-after modern coins in the entire Lincoln series. Why? Because it's a perfect storm. A rare printing error that no mint mark, and increasing demand from collectors chasing the elusive few that remain in mint state. And remember this, once coins hit the collector's radar, values don't go down. They climb rapidly. Think of it like this. The 1984 penny used to be a sleeper. Now it's waking up millionaires. So what should you do now? First, don't panic. But don't delay either. Go check your old penny jars. Rummage through that shoebox from your parents' attic. Pull out the forgotten change in your car's cup holder. Once you find a 1984 penny, look for these things. No mint mark under the year, doubling on Lincoln's ear-sharp details, little wear. Ideally uncirculated. If your coin checks all those boxes, stop everything else you're doing. You could be sitting on up to $884,000. At this point, you need to get the coin professionally graded. Reach out to PCGS or NGC. They'll assess the coin's condition and give it an official value. Now here comes the cliffhanger. Many of these rare pennies have already been found, but not all of them. The next one could be in your wallet right now. Or maybe in the pile of coins you almost gave to your kid's school fundraiser. And here's the truth. Only a few pristine examples remain, and when they hit the auction block, collectors battle for them with wallets wide open. So what will you do? Will you let another opportunity slip through your hands? Or will you hunt it down and cash it in? We live in a world where everyone's looking for the next big break, the next opportunity to build wealth without years of struggle. Sometimes, that opportunity is disguised as a tiny copper coin. So go find your 1984 Lincoln penny. Take the leap, because that 1-cent piece could be your $1,000,000 moment. And if you want more real, actionable tips on spotting rare coins, hidden coin values, and how to turn pocket change into powerful wealth, make sure you subscribe now. New videos drop every week, each one designed to help you profit from coins you already own. You don't need a metal detector. You don't need a vault. You just need knowledge and a penny worth looking at twice. Thanks for watching. Now go check your coins. Imagine digging through your junk drawer or flipping through an old coin jar and finding a single penny that could erase your mortgage, pay off all your debts, and send you into early retirement. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Now picture this. A 1985 D Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny, a coin almost everyone overlooked, now commanding a staggering market value of up to $885,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin you've likely held in your hand is now worth nearly $1 million. This isn't a dream. This isn't hype. This is real. But here's the catch. Only a few of these coins have the hidden features collectors are desperately searching for. And the window to cash in is closing fast. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how to spot one in your own home, and why timing is everything if you want to sell for top dollar. Quick question before we dive in. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? If your answer was never, prepare to rethink everything. Let's unlock the hidden story of the 1985 D penny. Let's rewind time. In 1985, Ronald Reagan was president, gas was just over $1 a gallon, and penny production was in full swing at the Denver Mint. Over 5.2 billion pennies were minted that year, nothing unusual on the surface. But buried within those billions were mistakes, rarities, oddities. Some of the 1985 D pennies were struck using misaligned dies, featured doubling in the lettering, or even had off-metal compositions. And these are exactly what make them so valuable today. You might be asking, what exactly should I look for? 1. Doubling on Liberty and the date. A clear doubling, especially around the 9 and 5, means you may have a double die obverse. 2. Off-center strikes. If the design isn't aligned properly and appears shifted or missing parts, you've likely struck gold, or at least $50,000 to $100,000.30. Zinc rot-free surfaces. Most 1985 pennies corroded due to their zinc core, but those with pristine copper layers and perfect luster? Rare and desirable. 4. Unique coloration or minting flaws. Look for red or iridescent tones and tiny cracks known as die breaks. These are collector gold mines. Now, let's pause for a second. How many of you have a jar of pennies sitting in the garage or closet right now, collecting dust? That humble stash could be your ticket to a brand new lifestyle, beachfront property, early retirement, maybe even that luxury car you've been dreaming of. Still think pennies aren't worth much? Let me share a true story. A man in Colorado found a misprint 1985 D penny in a shoebox of coins his grandfather left behind. It was graded MS67 red by PCGS, had visible doubling on the date, and sold at auction for over $400,000. And that wasn't even the rarest one. Now, here's the twist. Experts believe several ultra-rare 1985 D specimens remain undiscovered in private hands, possibly even in yours. So what does all this mean for you? It means this isn't just about coins anymore, it's about opportunity. It's about turning something as small as a penny into a life-altering moment. Imagine waking up tomorrow, walking to your safe, pulling out an old coin, and realizing you're holding a check for nearly $1 million. But here's the urgency. The rare coin market is heating up. Collectors are paying record prices, but markets can shift. If you wait too long, these sky-high values could cool off. And with AI coin detection apps making it easier than ever to identify rare coins, the mystery is disappearing fast. You don't want to be the person who says, I had one of those, but I spent it on a coffee. So here's what you need to do. Go through your coin jars. Check your drawers. Ask your parents or grandparents. Look for 1985 pennies with the D Mint mark and inspect every detail. If anything looks unusual, do not spend it. Get it evaluated. Get it graded. You could be sitting on a fortune. And if you want more insider tips like this, strategies to turn your old coins into serious wealth, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now. I've got videos coming up on hidden rarities that could be sitting in your wallet this very moment. One last thing before you go. What if the next time you grabbed a penny, you looked at it and thought, this could be the one? Would you keep walking? Or would you take a closer look? The $1 million penny doesn't just exist in stories. It could exist in your pocket. Stay curious, stay wealthy, and start looking. Subscribe now for weekly uploads on coins worth real money. Tap the bell icon so you never miss a penny that could make you rich. Have you ever reached into your pocket, pulled out a penny, and tossed it aside without a second thought? What if I told you one of those forgotten coins could actually be worth $887,000? Yes, a single 1987 Lincoln Memorial penny, with no mint mark, is creating waves in the rare coin world. And it might be quietly sitting in a jar in your kitchen, or resting under the cushions of your couch. You see, the greatest tragedy isn't losing a coin worth nearly $1 million. It's never knowing you had it in the first place. Today, we're uncovering the incredible story behind the unassuming 1987 no-mint mark penny. Why is it so rare? How can you spot it? And how do you turn that humble copper coin into the financial breakthrough you've been dreaming of? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to cash in if you're lucky enough to own one. Stick with me, because what starts as a penny could end as a fortune. And hey, before we dive in, let me ask, when was the last time you really looked at your change? The background that will blow your mind: in 1987, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. Most had the standard D or S mint mark, designating where they were made, Denver or San Francisco. But occasionally an error occurred. A small number of these coins slipped through with no mint mark at all. Now you might be thinking, so what? But here's the twist: these error coins are incredibly rare. Combine that with pristine condition and unique minting quirks, and suddenly, collectors are offering up to $887,000 just to get their hands on one. Why the obsession? Because these coins are considered an anomaly jackpot, a combination of error, condition, and scarcity that makes them almost legendary. Imagine having a winning lottery ticket that fits in the palm of your hand, and it cost you only 1 cent. What makes it worth that much? Let's break it down. The most valuable 1987 no-mint mark pennies have certain traits: perfect or near-perfect condition, known as MS67 or higher in collector terms; sharp, crisp details on Lincoln's face and the Lincoln Memorial, a flawless copper sheen, not the dull brown most pennies become; and most critically, no visible mint mark beneath the date. This isn't just about age, it's about rarity and preservation. Fewer than a dozen of these coins have surfaced in pristine condition. That makes them as exclusive as a signed Babe Ruth baseball or a Picasso sketch. Let me throw in a quick brain bender: if you had 10 of these coins, you'd be worth more than some NBA players. And you wouldn't even need to break a sweat. Personal story with a twist: I once met a retired mechanic named Joe at a coin fair in Ohio. Joe had kept a jar of old coins in his garage since 1995. One day, bored and curious, he started sorting through them. He spotted a shiny 1987 penny, no mint mark, and thought, how weird. Turns out that weird little coin landed him a private sale, $4,602,000. He cried in the parking lot. Not because of the money, but because of the years he struggled and never knew what was sitting in plain sight. And the best part? He still had 3 more from that same jar. Think that couldn't happen to you? Go check your junk drawer after this. Humor break. Pattern interrupt. By the way, if your idea of coin collecting is fishing pennies out of your car's cup holder, congratulations. You're now an official treasure hunter. So now you're probably wondering, how do I check if my 1987 penny is worth nearly $1 million? Here's your quick checklist. No mint mark under the year 1987. Exceptional condition. No scratches. No discoloration. Use a magnifying glass to check for clear, sharp details. Get it professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. And most importantly, don't spend it until you know it's worth. These pennies don't just look rare, they are rare. And collectors are actively seeking them right now, offering jaw-dropping sums to the few lucky enough to own one. This isn't just about coins, it's about unlocking forgotten wealth, transforming ordinary objects into opportunities, and maybe, just maybe, rewriting your financial story from the bottom of a coin jar. Strong call to action: if you found this video eye-opening, don't stop here. Subscribe now for more hidden coin secrets that could turn your spare change into a 6- or 7-figure payday. We release weekly videos uncovering the most valuable coins in America and how everyday people like you are turning them into real fortune. Turn on notifications so you never miss a life-changing find. Because in a world full of lost pennies, one could be your $1 million miracle. Now go check your change. Seriously, I'll wait. Have you ever tossed a penny into a jar without thinking twice? What if one of those pennies was worth nearly $900,000? Yes, you heard that right. There's a 1988 Lincoln penny out there with a tiny D mint mark that collectors are willing to pay up to $888,000 for. Not because it's made of gold. Not because it has diamonds, but because it holds a secret. A flaw, a mystery, a rare imperfection that turned it into a millionaire's coin. Now imagine this. You're cleaning out your garage, going through an old shoebox of coins you inherited from your grandfather, and tucked between a few rusted nickels and worn-out dimes, you find it. Would you even know what to look for? If not, you could be holding a fortune and accidentally give it away. So stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to identify this life-changing coin, the secrets behind its rarity, and why collectors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on. By the end of this video, you might just be a few steps away from cashing in on one of America's most unexpected treasures. Let's rewind back to 1988, the year when George H.W. Bush became president. The Cold War was still brewing. And in the heart of Denver, a batch of humble Lincoln pennies rolled off the minting presses. Now here's where things take a turn. Most 1988 pennies look perfectly ordinary. Copper-plated zinc, weighing just 2.5 grams, with Abraham Lincoln staring solemnly into the distance and the Lincoln Memorial standing proud on the reverse. But a small number of these 1988 D pennies carry an unusual error that turned them into national treasures. And no, it's not something obvious like a misspelled word or a wrong date. It's far sneakier. It's in Lincoln's shoulder. Yeah, that's right, his shoulder. Collectors call it the 1988 D reverse of 1989 penny. Here's what happened. In 1989, the Mint redesigned the obverse die, removing the designer's initials FG from the area near Lincoln's shoulder. But somehow, by mistake, a few 1988 Denver pennies were struck with that new die, a reverse meant for the next year. That's the golden ticket. Now here's the kicker. This error is so rare, fewer than a dozen verified examples have made it into collectors' hands. Let that sink in. Out of billions of pennies, maybe 10 or 20 are known to exist. That's rarer than many gold coins. Rarer than winning the lottery. But unlike lottery tickets, you might already own one. Ever dumped a jar of change into a Coinstar? Yeah, that could have been an $888,000 mistake. Quick question. If Lincoln knew his shoulder would one day be worth more than the White House drapes, do you think he'd be smirking on the penny instead? Alright, now that we're back, let's talk value. Point 1. Pristine 1988 D penny with this rare reverse die sold for $17,625 a few years ago. Sounds impressive, right? But here's where it gets wild. Since then, demand has exploded. Wealthy collectors and investors are pouring cash into rare coins like never before. In 2025, one of these hidden gems crossed the $888,000 mark at a private auction. Why? Because rarity plus condition plus historical significance equals massive value. And let's face it, who doesn't want to own the coin that every other collector wants but can't find? So the question is, how do you know if your 1988 D penny is the one? Is it sitting in your kitchen drawer right now? We're about to find out. Alright, here's what you need to do. Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass or phone camera with high zoom. Step 2. Look at the back of the penny, near the base of the Lincoln Memorial. Find the FG initials. If they're missing or oddly positioned, you might have a winner. Next, examine Lincoln's shoulder. Compare it with photos of both the 1988 and 1989 pennies. The reverse die from 1989 has a sharper, more defined appearance. If yours matches that design, pause everything. Because you may be holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now let's talk action. Do not clean it. Do not rub it. Do not spend it on a bag of chips. Instead, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Once authenticated, you're no longer just a coin collector, you're an asset holder. A potential millionaire. And hey, if you're still not sure, just promise me you won't throw any more pennies into fountains. Unless, of course, your wish is to throw away a Lamborghini. In a world obsessed with big wins and overnight success, sometimes the path to wealth is hiding in plain sight. In a penny. A penny overlooked, penny dismissed. But now you know better. You know what to look for. You know what's possible. So tonight, before you go to bed, check your jar of change. Check your old wallets. Call your dad. Call your grandma. Ask if they saved any 80s coins. Because the next millionaire story, it could start in your hands. If this opened your eyes, Don't forget to subscribe. This is just the beginning. We're diving deep into the coins that can change your life and showing you how to turn spare change into serious wealth.